she pulls the sound. You can see her physically pulling the sound out of herself. This song here, this performance, I did a little analysis on TikTok and Instagram, a little vertical one of this song, and y'all were like, we need a full video, we need a full video. So I wanted to make sure I got to, because again, this is a good song, good performance. So y'all, let's get into it.
I don't have the strength to give you what you deserve. You took my energy, my love, and left me hurt.
Strength that you, little quick vocal yodel flip right there, that you deserve. And then that deserve was breathy, it was a whisper. She's using a lot of word painting already, text painting, a lot of dramaticism in the best way. It's just so captivating. I love it.
If I could, I'd pay you back, and that's my word.
And that's my word. I love her use of yodel flips and yodel stops, yodel breaks in her vocal delivery here. And she's using a little bit of you can see it's a little bit of a yeah, that's my word. You can kind of see that grit in the face. Yeah, that's my word. And it's not yeah, that's my word. It's yeah, that's. AAVE. She's using AAVE intentionally because that's how she wants to sing the song. Yeah, that's my word. Like I would say that. Yeah, that's my word. Instead of yeah, that's my word. No. Yeah, that's my word. Yeah, that's. So it's a D instead of a TH. Yeah, that's my word.
Vengeance ain't mine, but sometimes I wish it were. I'm tired of just sitting back, letting it burn.
Letting it burn. These low notes are so present. She's really knowing how to move that vocal track to make these low notes happen. It's almost like he's dropping the larynx and using a little bit more of a wide vocal track shape as she goes down. Da, da. You see how my voice kind of gets more wider, or it sounds wider, and more lower, kind of like a wider, warmer sound. Da, da. She's doing a lot of changes within the vocal track to bring out these different colors.
I'm supposed to let karma do it.
Shaping each and every sound in the song with the dramaticism and the technique, the emotion and the technique. They're working hand in hand. They're working hand in hand. Emotion and technique influence each other. They work hand in hand. Prime example, they work hand in hand.
Oh God, yeah.
Changes. So she went into like a heady sound, added yodel flips within the walk down. Little vocal slide. It went back to that more robust kind of longer, puckered, extended sound. Ooh, with the yawn and the drop larynx a little bit. So I want to do like a vocal audit real quick with her voice. The vocal audit comes from my new workbook called Find Your Sound. It's right here, Find Your Sound. I love this workbook. It's a digital downloadable workbook you can get on my website. And in the workbook is basically prompts and exercises to help you find your voice, help you find your artistry. And a part of the prompts are what I call vocal audits. Basically, you write down what you hear somebody's voice doing, write down the descriptives that you hear. And so I want to write down some stuff that she's doing and kind of give some words to the sounds that we hear her doing, you know? I'll call these vocal elements. There are some categories that I divide the voice into in terms of how to describe the voice. For the sake of time, we won't go through all of the categories that I have. I want to talk about the one category of articulation and phonetics. Like I said before, she uses very clear articulation. So I'm going to write down clear articulation under articulation and phonetics. And I also want to write down AAVE, because AAVE is a form of English that is very legit, number one, and very useful for singing, if I may say so, in my humble opinion, in my humble professional opinion. AAVE is very useful for singing. So I'm going to write AAVE, African American Vernacular English, as well. Let's try the next category real quick. So sounds, tones, textures, and techniques. She does a lot of yodel flips in her delivery. So yodel flips. She uses more of an open vocal track when she goes low, so I'll say open low notes. And she uses slides and things like that too, so let's say vocal slides as well.
Let's go, and I hold on to all the times you lied.
So before she got into this verse right here, it was oh. Had more yodel flips, had a register flip. She went into more of like a hooty, heady sound, but really kept the sound robust as she went down low. And then she gets into the verse with the words again, and then she adds breathiness. It kind of pulls back on the dynamics and the intensity of the voice. She has great control over this song, great control over the voice, over the delivery, over the pacing of this song. She's really walking us through the song and not letting the song walk her, you know? She's really walking us through the song and giving us the narrative of the idea behind this song, and the textures, and the words, and articulation, and the delivery, and all of that, and all of that.
Remember how you made me cry. Now you want me to put it all aside. I know God would want me to forgive, but it's hard to live and let live when you took too much away from me. For you to go free, be glad that I'm not gone.
I love how you can hear every single word, every single word. It's so narrative how she's delivering this. Now she's really cooking, but now the sound is more brighter and more forward, a little bit more brassier. You see how my sound kind of gets more, a little bit more forward and masky as I go higher. So it's not robust and big anymore down here. It's robust and bright. You see my mouth also gets wider. And then I add the little yodel flips. The little yodel stops within the vocal line. I'm not doing it nearly as good as her, but I just wanted to show you what she's doing and how she's making these sounds a little bit. And I love how she pulls the sound. You can see her physically pulling the sound out of herself. You see what I'm doing? It's like, I'm pulling it up and I'm pulling it out. And I'm letting it out right there. Yeah, you can really see her body really anchoring in. You can see her using her breathing muscles. That torso's working. All that. Yeah, she's doing all of that. She's doing all of that. But the full went more of that headier sound. So she did a little register flip right there. Be grateful.
Be glad that I'm not God. Be grateful I'm not. Thank your lucky stars I'm not. Oh, be glad I'm not God.
Be aspirate stops in a beat. Be with the register flip. Be glad that I'm not God. And the declarative clear articulation has such a punch to it. So it's like, be grateful. Thank your lucky stars I'm not God. Be grateful that I'm not God. Oh, you don't get what you deserve. Be glad that I'm not God. I would do it. I would do it. You know, so it's kind of like a real life, in your face. Be glad that I'm not God. A little bit of a to it, you know?
Be glad that I'm not God. Be glad that I'm not God. Be glad that I'm not God.
Be glad that I'm not God. The God was a whisper. Be glad that I'm not God. Be glad that I'm not God. But even the G of God, especially in that whisper there, had a K undertone. The G was just very hard. G and K come from the same production family. So G and K can sound very similar in delivery, especially if you harden up the G sound or soften the K sound or vice versa or whatever. So here it's be glad that I'm not God. So it kind of has a K undertone, though it's still G contextually, but phonetically we hear like a low-key K sound.
Be glad that I'm not God. 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 Be glad.
I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed watching it and breaking it down with y'all. And as will forever say to you, be vocally bold, creative, and aware, but most of all, be vocally you. I love you so much. I'll see you soon.